Welcome to Beneath the Surface. This week we are going to talk to Nicole Fowles from the Delaware County District Library, and we're going to talk about all things library. And you're going to be amazed, I think, at how many things you can actually do at the library these days. It's kind of an all-inclusive entertainment center now, I'd have to say. Thanks for joining me, Nicole.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Now, I have to admit, I'm a little bit of a library junkie because my first job was a page in a library.
Amazing.
Yes, I love libraries.
In Ohio?
In Ohio,
Awesome.
Upper Arlington.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so not too far down the road. But I will say libraries have changed since I worked in the library. I mean, it was just books, encyclopedias in the reference department.
Right.
And, that was kind of it. And
Right.
now it's amazing.
Well, and information has changed, and the way that people consume information has changed. And so where we used to buy the encyclopedias every single year.
Yeah.
I mean, those were giant sets of encyclopedia books, and they were expensive too. Now what we do is we buy them digitally. And so we have a lot of online resources, and people are able to get the information that they need that is as up-to-date as it possibly can be. So that's where some of the reference materials of old have been cycled into the new digital age, is that it's just able to really keep you up to date with the best and the most accurate information. We say that we live in this world of Google and everything is at your fingertips, but it's not always accurate.
Right.
And so that's where we say that libraries really still add to the conversation that we need to be players in the game, because we can get you the right information.
Well, and also, I mean, it really is important to realize that Wikipedia also, I've noticed, there are things that are so incorrect on there, and people take that for an encyclopedia.
Right.
It's amazing to me, and you need to just go back to your library.
Right. My coworker, there's two of us. I work in the communications department, and there's two of us in the department. And my coworker is getting her Master's of Library and Information Science degree, which so many people that I talk to say that's a thing.
Yeah,
you have
it sure is.
You have to get a master's degree to be a librarian. Well, yes, you do. It's in information science.
Right.
It's in the sciences. And one of her assignments was actually to go on Wikipedia and correct 15 incorrect things in the articles.
Bet she didn't have trouble finding 15 incorrect things,
no,
did
not
she?
at all. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was an easy-ish assignment. You can find something that you're passionate about or that you enjoy, and then you can just find the article and put some proper citations into it.
Well, let's talk a little bit about upcoming. You guys have this great book.
Yes.
If you want this, you can sign up to get this book too, just delivered to your house even, because I know I've gotten one in the mail. And this talks about all things coming up for the library. You can also see it online.
Yes.
But let's talk about some things that are coming up in the new year.
Yes. Well, we have, one of the things that I'm most excited about is it's a program called the Human Library.
Yeah.
And this is something that is very unique. I read books, I follow stories, but then I also want to know other people's stories. And sometimes it's easier to discover about other people whenever you're having a conversation. So the way that the Human Library Project works, this is an international program. This is only our second year participating in it. You have people volunteer to be a human book.
I think this is awesome.
And then they have a subject matter that they will talk about, and then they can be checked out. It's just so neat and funky and weird.
Fun.
Yes. And so the concept behind it is that it gives people an opportunity to have a conversation with someone who might have had a different life experience from them in a safe space. So these are going to be one-on-one conversations, and the person is going to have about 10 minutes prepared of their story to tell. And then after that, it's another 20 minutes of just a conversation of, how did you come to this point in your life? What made you choose this decision? People who have participated in the past have been people who were dealing with infertility, and they wanted to tell their story about their struggles and what they've gone through. Another person was a person who had a very white-collar job, but she was suffering domestic abuse. And so a lot of times domestic abuse, you have an assumption of what kind of person suffers that.
Sure.
And so she wanted to kind of tell the other side of the story. We had an American Muslim tell their story, their perspective of what it's like. And these are our neighbors. These are people who live in Delaware County. And so they offer their perspective there as well. And one of our own staff members at the library, she actually had some health problems, which led to a lower leg amputation.
Oh, wow.
And so she then told her story as an amputee and everything that went through that. So right now, we're in the process of gathering people who want to volunteer to tell their stories, and then the event will be in April.
So only adults? Kids too?
It could be kids if they were so inclined, if they had a story to share and they were comfortable enough to have like a one-on-one conversation. I assume that they would probably want their parent in the room with them. And sometimes we've had a parent who represents a child. So, you know, if you are a parent of a child who has a learning disability and you kind of want to tell the story as the champion of that child, and then that would be an appropriate topic.
Yeah. So I want to hear your story, so make sure you sign up so
Right.
we can hear your story.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, how fun. The library is full of stories, and your events definitely help kids find their imagination through story. Let's talk a little bit about some of those events.
So our kids, they have so many different opportunities to come to the library and discover who they want to be and what they like and what they're into. Just this past fall, we had our 3rd annual Great Geek Fest. It is a Comic-Con. If you have ever been to a Comic-Con, there are the big ones that they have in San Diego. There's Wizarding World, I think, that happens in Columbus. And so we decided we wanted to have a free one right here in Delaware County. And it had panels about drawing and how to draw your best comics, manga, everything like that. There were panels about just different, we call them fandoms, so just different things that you get really into. So there was a Harry Potter fandom, you know, one where people just got together and they geeked out about Harry Potter. There was another one that was a Star Wars versus Star Trek, which, you know,
Whoa.
you don't get people divided on that because it gets a little bit rough. So that's one example of a really larger than life event that we put on. But really every day we have story times at our libraries. We have, between our 4 branches, we have branches in the Orange Township, Powell, Lewis Center is Orange Township, Ostrander, and Delaware. So Delaware, Orange Township, Powell, and Ostrander.
Orange Township's the best, I'm just saying.
It's our newest. It's about it's about 7 years old at this point. Yeah. So Orange Township is our newest, but between our 4 branches, we have 20 different story times that happen every week.
That's fantastic for parents.
Week. Yeah. They baby time is one of the first things, and you think, what would I do with a baby at the library? But it's getting them moving. They move their arms. They start to build some muscle, some memory muscle. You sing them songs, and a lot of times it's just for the parents. It's get out of the house, right? Bonding with other parents. So that one is about, all of them are structured anywhere between a half hour and an hour. And usually the half hour is kind of a structure, you know, we'll sing songs, we'll play games, we'll do crafts. And then the last half hour is just kind of hanging out and getting to know other people who are in your same walk of life. We have it for babies, toddlers, preschoolers. We have a toddler and preschool dance party that happens at 3 of our branches. It is chaos, but it is the best organized chaos that you would ever discover. And they come and they just dance and sing and they have a party and a good time. At our Orange branch, we have what we just call playtime. And Miss Marley there puts out all of the toys and all of the different sensory activities that she has on hand, and she just says, come and play. It's just unstructured play. And that's one of the things that we really try and encourage at the library is reading begins the day you're born, because you're preparing your body for the skills that you need to read. So that's writing, that's talking, playing, singing, and then actually reading, actually looking at words on a page. And the library is one of the few entities that provides that service. You know, we have a school system within our country that, you know, teaches the kids from ages 5, 6 until 18, but there's not really any structured entity other than preschool, but that's not required, of course, that really prepares kids for reading. And so the library, we kind of call ourselves the first institution to teach people how to read.
Great. The thing that I've And I'll ask you specifically, computers are all the rage now, right? Everybody has a laptop or an iPad or something. So how do you compete with that with your computer room?
Our computer room has many different uses right now. One of the stories that we love to tell is that the reason why we still have computers and we still have, PCs in our buildings is because we serve the public. So we serve anybody in the population, and that can be people who can't get Wi-Fi at their home because maybe it doesn't reach their home because of connectivity, or maybe they can't pay for it because of their own personal station in life. But we want to be able to provide that service to people. So we have, as soon as our doors open at 9 a.m., we have people waiting outside the door, and they will go right to the computer lab because that's where they need to go to apply for their jobs, or to email their family members, or to just get on Facebook and see what their friends are doing and check out pictures and different things that way. So our computer lab is still a hustlin' and bustlin' place. And we see lots of different uses with it. We provide free printing for anyone who is a job seeker and they need to print out resumes or they need to print out job applications. So we will provide that for free for any individual who needs it.
That's great.
It's a really nice service. We also have a whole world of online resources. You can access them on our library, Delaware website, and on our Delaware Library website, delawarelibrary.org, and we just call it our job site. So there are resources on there that will help you build a resume. There are resources that will help you find available jobs, and lots of different ways for you to research. Even, I love it because it's from the person who needs a job, maybe because they just graduated college, to the person who is deciding that they need a change in their life and they need to, re-up their skills for a new job. So we help them as well. We have a lot of online resources, and it's opportunities for people to learn more about something that, doesn't teach as well through a book. You can read a book, you can kind of walk yourself step by step through like how to make a website for dummies, but sometimes a video is a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So we just got access to a product called lynda.com. It's Lynda with a Y. And
it's fantastic. I've used it.
It has thousands of videos, and all you need is your library card to log on and to have your lynda.com membership. And you can go on and you can learn anything from how to build a website, how to do things in Adobe. If you are a designer and you need to know how to use InDesign or Illustrator, it has tutorials on those. And the program is so robust that it will take you all the way from your 101, knowing nothing about it, to a point of certification.
Wow.
So if you wanted to be Microsoft Word certified, you can start knowing nothing and then go all the way up to the point where you would take a test to be Microsoft certified.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And lynda.com is connected with LinkedIn. They're owned by LinkedIn. And so if you have a LinkedIn profile, then as soon as you finish that certification, it will go ahead and add it right to your profile.
Nice. And that, you're saving people a lot of money with that, because those kind of classes cost couple hundred, depending.
Yeah, my coworker and I, we work in the Adobe suite a lot, as we are the communications folks for the library, and sometimes we just need to, re-up our skills. And when we got lynda.com, it was a huge lifesaver for us because we can just schedule an hour to take a course and, add that to our resumes, rather than, I think it was $800 were some of the formal Adobe classes that we were pricing.
Yeah.
So
it's a really nice thing the library provides.
Yep, saves us money, saves the community money, and it's a statewide resource. So any library in the state of Ohio will have this resource.
Now, speaking of that, are you connected to the state of Ohio system so that I could get a book in Columbus, Ohio, if it's available?
Yeah, so the way that libraries in Ohio work is we are the Delaware County District Library System, so we have our 4 branches and our outreach branch as well. We call it a branch. It's our little bookmobile that goes around, and they reach tons of people throughout the course of the year. But we are also part of a greater system. So when you search our catalog for books, you are actually searching 17 other library systems for that book as well. That's part of the Central Library Consortium, and we just joined that in March of 2018. And that opened up our catalog to another I want to say 5 million items. It sounds like an exaggeration, but between our library, we already had at least 1 million in our circulation, including our digital library as well, everything that we have available online. But then we have that access to 17 other libraries in Central Ohio, and that's really increased our speed for getting books that are very popular, for getting DVDs that are very popular. It becomes scary because
wait a minute, people still rent DVDs?
Oh yes. Oh my
that's
goodness.
Awesome.
We have at least people who come in and will get like, a stack of 10 just every week because they'll just have a family movie watching party every night of the week.
It's like Netflix, but local.
Exactly. Yeah. And you can rent up to 20 at a time, and if you're nice to our librarians, they might let you take out more. I know that they always want to get them off the shelves and get them rented out. So we'll have people who will put a request on for a DVD, and it'll be a really popular one, The Incredibles 2 or something like that. And you'll put in your request and it'll say, you're number 640 in line. And you think, oh my gosh. Well, that's because you are in line with all of the rest of the people from these 17 other library systems.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But if each of those library systems are buying 10 copies of that movie, times that you've got 170,
it's going to be quick.
It's going to be one movie per every 6 people. So you're going to move through the line really quickly, a lot faster than the numbers tell you.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, we're part of the Central Library Consortium. It's been a really great move for us. It's been a really great partnership. But we're still part of 2 other larger organizations, which are called Search Ohio, which helps us search 99 other public libraries in the state of Ohio, just in case those 17 ones in Central Ohio don't have what you're looking for. And then we're part of Ohio Link, which is it searches college libraries. So those will get you some more titles that are a little bit more academic. Or if you are a college student and you're just hoping that you don't have to pay for that book, you could look on Ohio Link and see if you could check it out from another college or institution.
Oh, that's great. 'Cause those books are expensive.
Yes. Yes, they are. They are. And it's tons of information. I think that's one of the things that we try and tell people about. They'll walk into our branch and they might go right to the fiction shelves, which is great. It's just like how you would peruse at a bookstore. And they might say, I want the latest Stephen King novel, and they might see that we don't have it on our shelves and be disappointed and then walk out the door. But what we really try to educate our patrons is that if you just take an extra second and you stop by our desk and you talk to one of our librarians, they can get that book for you, they can get it ordered, and it'll be here within a week.
Nice. So never go into distress. It's right around the corner.
Just ask a librarian.
Yeah.
Just ask a librarian.
Yeah.
They have all the answers. They really do.
So a big thing for teens is gaming.
Yes.
Do you do games and videos?
We do, yes.
Ah.
So you need to have your own gaming system at home, but we have lots of video games that we can rent out for all of the different consoles, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Wii. I'm not sure if we have anything for the new one, the Kinect.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not. It's my husband.
Look at you. You actually knew what it was called, though.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. So, yes, we have lots of different video games that can be checked out, and they are popular. They fly off the shelves, and they're the newest, greatest thing. Our teen librarian, Mandy, who actually just got a promotion, she's now going to be managing our Pal Branch library.
Wow.
But she was doing all of the ordering because that's just a personal passion of hers as well, and she gets the best stuff.
Sweet.
Yes. Within house, we have a lot of parties. We have a lot of teen gaming nights that we will plan specifically, and so we own a few systems within our library system. And so when we have a gaming night, we'll put those systems out, and then we'll just have everyone kind of get together and do a little competition.
Oh, fun.
We also have in our children's area for our little ones, they're called launch pads, and they are yay big, about the size of a Kindle, but they are like child indestructible. What happened was in the children's area, we had iPads out, but iPads, if you touch enough buttons, soon enough the iPad is going to be in black and white and Chinese. It's just they touched all the wrong things.
Yeah.
And so our IT manager, she experimented with a lot of different things to see like what was truly toddler proof, and she found the launch pads, and they are in a nice sturdy case. and they are themed. And so you might find the one that is themed princes and knights. And so you open it up, and it is just like a Kindle, just like an iPad. It has the different icons for multiple games that are all part of that theme, and they're all educationally based. So there will be maybe an alphabet one where every letter of the alphabet as you scroll through has something to do with the royalty. Yes.
How cute is that?
There might be an actual read-along story. So you tap on the read-along story, and then it'll highlight the words as it goes through and as it tells you the story, and it's interactive that way as well. So those are in all of our children's areas at all of our branches. But our IT manager just told me that she is on her way to letting those be checked out.
Nice.
So those will be something that parents will be actually able to come in and check out. So she's developing the rules on those right now, but they're coming soon.
Very fun. So in this day and age, you know, I think because people think internet has everything, like we talked about earlier, what's the struggle? What's next? Like, what's coming up in library world?
The thing that we talk about a lot is how people use the library. So we mentioned earlier, some people come in and use the physical resources. They use the computers. They check out the books and the DVDs that we have on our shelves. But what we really discovered, and what the trend is that we've found across the entire nation, is that people use the library as a community space. When we built our Orange Branch Library, we built it with, I believe, 4 study rooms. And those study rooms are, if they could be checked out like a book, they would probably have a higher circulation than any single book in our entire system, even the most popular book. Because people need space. They need space to come and study, to do their webinars, to do their group meetings, to do interviews sometimes. You know, a lot of times if you are a startup business and you want to interview some people for your business, the library is a great space to come and have those meetings, to do your interviews. So those spaces at our Orange Branch Library were in such high demand that we even went through a soft renovation just this past year to add more study room spaces. We passed our levy in November. And
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so with passing that levy in November, it will allow us the opportunity to continue the funding that we've been receiving to pay off our Orange Branch, and then to use that funding to build a new branch in Liberty Township. And we're already hearing a lot of things from the community that they want more spaces. So one of our top priorities for that branch is we're going to have a lot of study rooms. We're going to have a lot of just open space for people to just come and be and hang out, and then public performance spaces as well. It's very difficult to find in Delaware County a place where you can have kind of theater style seating for 100 people for an author
Smaller,
visit.
yeah.
And so that's one of the things that we have on our wish list. So that's where libraries are really going, is to be the hub of the community. Our librarians are still there to point you toward the right information and the accurate information, but they're also there to just teach you more about your community. Many years ago, we did a strategic plan, and we said, what do we want to be within the Delaware County community? And one of our goals was we wanted to introduce the community to itself. So we wanted to be able to have people walk through our doors, look at our librarians at the desk, and say, you know, where can I find resources about adopting a child? And so our librarians would be able to point them to that proper place. Our prior director, Mary Jane Santos, she had a goal that created the embedded librarian. So it wasn't the librarian sitting behind the desk and just pittering away at the computer or reading a book, which never happens. People are like, you must love working in libraries. You must read all the time.
Yeah.
We don't. I mean, when we're off desk, because when we're on desk, we're helping people. But Mary Jane's goal was to have the embedded librarian. She wanted us to be in the community. So even as a communications manager, I am part of the Main Street Delaware board, and I help them. And anytime that they have information that they need to seek, they know where to come. They know that, you know, Nicole works at the library. I can ask Nicole. And our other managers and even our staff who work at the front desk in the circulation department, they are part of community organizations, so that those organizations know where to go whenever they have a need for the library.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have here at the main branch, I don't know if you have it at other branches, the podcasting.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about what that, I'm going to call it a closet, but
I
that
know,
room,
right?
it's a small room.
We call it the
but it's
big
cool.
black box.
Yeah.
So we call them our audio booths.
Oh, yes,
And
okay.
the DCDL audio booths. And they are I won't say soundproof, but they are a sound dampening room that is equipped with a Mac computer and a Yeti microphone,
Good microphone.
yes, basically all of your kind of nicer equipment that you would need to do any sort of voice recording. And then on top of that, you're inside of the sound dampening room. So it really, you're not recording in an area, in a chamber where your voice is bouncing off of a really hot room, if you would say. But I know when I was in college, I took some audio classes, and the best quality that my roommates and I would get out of it would be if we would lean into our computer and put a blanket over our heads. And so aside from leaning into your computer and putting a blanket over your head, you can come into our audio booths.
There you go.
So you walk into the area where it's closest to. At our main branch, it's in our computer room, and at our orange branch, it's just beside what we call our tween area. You ask the librarian for the key. Usually we'll take something in exchange just so you don't forget to bring us our key back, so a license or your library card. And then you rent out the room for an hour or more as you need it, as long as no one else is in line. And people have used it to create podcasts. One of our former employees had a very successful podcast that made it up the iTunes charts. He did all his own research, he did all his own writing, and then he used the audio booth to record the podcast. We had another individual who I saw who was laying down tracks for his rap songs.
Fun.
That was very fun. And then the sweetest story that I can tell it without crying is there was a grandfather who lived some distance from his grandchildren, and he wanted to give them a gift of a story. And so he actually took a children's book and he made a recording of himself reading that children's book, and then he mailed the book to them with the disc of his recording so that they could actually be read a story by their grandfather, which, if that doesn't break your heart, I mean.
Great Christmas gift to think about for you.
Yes, it is so sweet. So that was just, so many different uses. And when we had the vision of bringing the audio booths to the library, it was just kind of like, well, let's just see where it goes. Let's see how people end up using it. And the community has taken it and run with it. So we have two, main branch and orange branch, and they check out just like any other study room or available space at our library.
Great. So any other things that we should talk about before?
There's so much.
I know.
There is so much. I know. We have a new resource that we just added. It is called Creative Bug. And Creative Bug is one of our online resources, but it's also, you can download it as an app on your phone. All you need is your library card number to have access. And it is videos of crafting tutorials.
Whoa.
Now, I am not a crafting person, but they have 1,000+ videos on this website. And if something does not get you inspired on the site, then you have no crafting bones in your body whatsoever. But this website is very cleanly done, and it has everything from how to draw a design on a mug and bake it properly to how to quilt a giant queen-size quilt for your bed. So that's a very fun resource. We just added it. It's hot off the presses on our website.
So we go to the website, make sure you have your library card number. You can click it, it'll take you to that website, and you can put in your number and have access.
Right. It's all under our research tab.
Okay, great. How much fun.
Absolutely. One other thing that would be fun is we do sometimes an event called Delaware Reads, which is where we try and get a whole community behind one theme. So either behind one author or behind one genre or behind one particular book. In the past, we've read The Hobbit, and as a whole community, we've also done Ender's Game, and we alternate. So we'll do a more adult-themed book that is 1 year, and then we'll do a more children's themed book, and we'll work with the schools another year. So this winter, we are doing our Delaware Reads Teen, and that is with all the Delaware County schools in our service district. So that's Delaware City, Buckeye Valley, and Olentangy school districts. And they are reading stories by the author Jason Reynolds. Jason Reynolds is very hot. If you do pick up our Check It Out, if you turn to the very back page, a new feature that we have is the staff review.
Oh.
And Kelly has reviewed several of Jason's books. He writes for tweens and teens mostly, but adults really enjoy his books as well. He is a person of color, and so he writes about his experience. He has a much more diverse background in his writing than your everyday writer. And he will be at the Berlin High School on February 20th. I'm going to double.
22nd.
22nd, thank you. Yes.
7 p.m.
Yes, so Jason will be at the Olentangy Berlin High School February 22nd at 7 p.m. Tickets are free for that event. You just have to go to Eventbrite and reserve your ticket so we know that you're coming.
Awesome. How fun. Do you do author visits quite a bit?
Not as often as we'd like to. We'd like to bring them a little bit more often. But it just kind of depends on what the theme is, who we're working with, what their price is.
Yeah.
Authors can be a little bit pricey, and all of the logistics to bring it together. So we're bringing Jason this February. Our Friends of the Library, which if you don't know about the Friends of the Library, they are a phenomenal organization. They put on our book sales. They'll do an art sale occasionally. And they take all of the money that they make and they give it back to the library so that we can do some of the bigger, more expensive programs that we want to do. They're actually bringing an author in January. Her name is Laura Camoy, and she wrote My Dear Hamilton, and it is a historical fictional perspective from Eliza Hamilton, and letters that she would have written to her dear Alexander Hamilton.
Nice.
So Laura is going to come to our library in January.
Very cool. Well, thank you for joining us today and telling us all the great things that are going on at the library. If you haven't found something that you want to do, definitely stop in because I'm sure they'll find something for you. Thanks for joining us on Beneath the Surface, and we'll see you next time.